Hello guys, let's read. Culture is nourished by human motivation, a limitless resource that can sometimes be underestimated. Lion Don Doty. Part 3. Limitless motivation. The why. Mindset, possibility, inspiration, ideation, motivation, purpose, inspiration, implementation, methods, ideation, process, implementation. Limitless. Motivation, the purpose one has for taking action, the energy required for someone to behave in a particular way. Okay. In the movie Limitless, writer Eddie Mora was completely unmotivated, unfocused, and had no energy. When he popped the pill that made him suddenly take action, his life drastically changed for the better because he was able to make things happen. Let's unlimit a few lies commonly held around motivation. Contrary to popular belief, like your mindset, motivation is not fixed. No one has a set level of motivation, and when people say they are unmotivated, it's not completely true. They could have a high level of motivation to stay in bed and watch television. Motivation also doesn't mean you must enjoy something that you need to do. My friend, entrepreneur Tom Believe hates working out, but he has a clear and compelling reason to do so. So he does it every morning. I really don't like taking cold showers, but I do it daily. I'll explain why in chapter 8. Finally, motivation is not something you wake up with or not. We put ourselves in a trance when we say, I don't have any motivation. Motivation is not something you have, it's something you do. And it's extremely sustainable. Unlike a warm bath, it's not something that you experience for a moment and then lose unless you heat it up again. Motivation isn't derived from a seminar that temporarily pumps you up. It's a process. And since it's a strategy, you have control over it and can create it constantly by following the right recipe. Here's the formula. Motivation is equal to purpose into energy into S3. When you combine purpose, energy, and small steps, S3, you get sustainable motivation. And the ultimate form of motivation is the state of flow. Think about it as energy management. Creating it, investing it, and not wasting it. A clear purpose or reason gives you energy. Practice you employ will cultivate energy for your brain. Practices you employ will cultivate energy for your brain and the rest of your body. And small, simple steps requires little energy. In this section, we'll talk about how to cultivate powerful, sustainable motivation around learning and life that lasts. We'll achieve this by getting clear on your purpose, fostering the mental and physical energy that will sustain you, and establishing small simple steps and tapping flow states. Purpose drives us to act, and our purpose must be clear enough that we know why we're acting and what we're hoping to gain. Generating sufficient energy is vital. If you're tired, sleepy, or if your brain is foggy, then you won't have the fuel to take action. Small simple steps take minimal effort and keep you from being paralyzed with overwhelm. And finally, finding flow is the ultimate boon to motivation. Ultimate boon to motivation. Reasons, results. Dream quick. 7. Purpose. How do certain defining phrases determine who you are? How do your values define you? What does your sense of purpose say about you, who you are? For the longest time, my kryptonite was lack of sleep. Sleep has never been easy for me. As a kid, for years, I was pulling regular all-nighters, studying long hours trying to compensate for my learning challenges. I developed bad sleeping problems. I was always tired at school, but I would plow through the fatigue anyway because I had a strong desire to work hard and make my family proud. My purpose and reasons were super clear, so I was plenty motivated. Even after I learned accelerated learning skills at age 18, I no longer had to put in crazy hours. My sleeplessness continued into adulthood and has grown steadily worse. 2 to 4 hours total of every interrupted sleep for about 20 years. The longer you go without sleep, the harder it becomes to maintain a sense of reality or motivation. For that matter, lack of sleep compromises all of your cognitive skills, your focus, your memory, and your overall brain health. A common contributing factors for depression and many mood disorders is lack of sleep. I can attest to the dark places I've found myself in as a result of lack of sleep. My intense speaking and global level schedule certainly did not help me. 1 year I was on the road for 235 days. Time zones, jet lag, unfamiliar state, still hotel rooms, you get the picture. And my brain was feeling it. Just imagine a memory expert forgetting what city he is waking up in. This puzzled me because as a long-term meditation student, my mind was not ruminating or racing at night. It was as calm as could be. It was only a handful of years ago when I ended up hospitalized for multiple nights without rest participated in an overnight sleep study and I was diagnosed with severe obstructive sleep apnea, a physical disorder where evidently I start breathing more than 200 times each and every night. Today, after multiple treatment, I'm happy to say my sleep is worlds better. Once I was able to fix the physical obstruction with surgery, I was then able to optimize my sleep with a number of tools I will cover in chapter 8. During my most difficult moments, I've asked myself why I continue to do what I do. Why struggle when I could easily tell myself I don't have the energy for this. As a child, my purpose and motive for taking action was to compensate for my lack of talent with hard work to prove to myself I was capable. But once I've leveled up my learning, why did I continue to work so hard despite being exhausted, sleep deprived, and an extreme introvert to make speech after speech, video after video, podcast after podcast? It's the same thing that drove me as a child. I have clear and definite purpose. I don't want anyone to struggle and suffer the way I did. The mission that drives me is to unlock better, brighter brains. Often our greatest struggles lead to our greatest strengths. My two biggest challenges as a child were learning and public speaking. Life has a sense of humor because I spent most of my life public speaking and learning. I couldn't read and now I teach people from all over the world how to read better. I struggled to understand my brain and now I speak in front of audiences of thousands to help them understand the amazing tools they possess. I've learned there is a gift in most challenges. In the same way, decades of lack of sleep has given me two very important lessons. First, it's forced me to leave everything in this book. I wouldn't be able to perform at the level I do without the tools I've learned, so I've doubled down on everything I teach. I rarely have to prepare for a speech because I use these skills every single day. I live them, it's who I am. Second, I've had to become really clear on my purpose, my identity, my values, and my reasons for doing what I do every day.